Hello, 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 beautiful soul. I am here to share a divinely inspired message with you today after my email last week about the weekly energy insight audios and meditations. I've really had this relief come through. And it's been really interesting because after I allowed myself to release this pressure that I was feeling to express myself in a certain way, or in a way that I quote unquote should be expressing the inspiration and energy that wants to move through me, I have had so much more lightness and so much more ease in the way that I am expressing myself and bringing forth divine messages again. And it's interesting because I was not anticipating a pivot or a shift with the way that I share my weekly guidance with you and the audios and the meditations. This wasn't something that I had anticipated, expected, or planned. And it's fascinating to me because relieving the pressure around having to, or the supposed to, or what I was internally perceiving as a limitation. And the limitation, honestly, was coming from an aspect of my ego or my mind, the fear-based parts of me that were saying I couldn't do both. I could only share this guidance and these messages in this way because that's what I had committed to, and that's what I was divinely guided into, and that's what I was being called and led to do. And there was this other aspect of me that was like, okay, well, I can't do that and share other inspired messages. If I'm doing this, I can't do that. If I am doing this, I can't also share inspired video content. I can't also share inspired written messages. I can't also share whatever is wanting to come through me to be expressed and to be shared to you and my community members. And it was starting to create this internal sense of resistance that I was talking about, and that was limiting me in the other energy and inspiration and intuitive guidance that was wanting to come through me. So because I had this mindset or this energy of it has to look only like this, I can only do this, I was not able to see the and. And unconsciously, I was coming from this space of a not enoughness and also a don't want to be too muchness. And when we have these perceptions of ourselves of being too much or feeling like we're not enough, both aspects, both polarities, both sides of that spectrum creates an inner disharmony or an inner conflict or an inner dissonance. And that can create internal stress and resistance to what we are actually led to do, be, feel, experience, and expand into. So I was coming up against this edge that I had talked about, this growth edge, this discomfort that I was feeling, so that I could get clear of what that was for me and what that meant for me and how to navigate through it. And for me, that looked like checking in with myself and the stories that I was telling myself. And the stories that I was telling myself was, if I share more, I'm being too much. And are they not gonna want to hear from me anymore because I'm sharing too much? And am I gonna be annoying them in their inbox? Or are they going to tune me out because I'm connecting with them more regularly and in a different way? And like all of these untrue, unnecessary, limiting beliefs and stories that were showing up. And part of it was an aspect of me that was wanting to dim my light and to fit into a box and to feel protected in a way. It was an aspect of myself that was guarding and protecting my heart and my expression, not wanting to be judged, not wanting to be perceived in some sort of way. And when I was able to look at that and heal those aspects of me and come into a space of deeper acceptance of not only what I was feeling and why I was feeling it, but also to move through it and come to the other side and create a new story that has become, it is safe for me to share and express myself in the ways that feel aligned and right and liberating and free for me, moment by moment, day to day, week to week. And to not give myself these intense limiting parameters while also honoring the structures and the organization that has supported my flow in my expression, right? So what that has looked like in this reorganizing and this reharmonizing that I've been navigating myself and through these lanes of communication and connection, it's been really interesting because when I started doing these energy insights and weekly messages and meditations, this was a way of me organizing and finding a structure around my expression and what wanted to move through me to offer to my community. And that is still the intention, that is still the purpose, that is still something that feels very strong and important for me to offer to you. And I'm now able to build upon that. And I have the capacity and the space and the inspired guidance to also share more. So I was coming up on this edge of like, okay, this was plenty, this felt right, this felt good, this was enough. And then I found myself at that edge of it's no longer enough, but the fear is that I'm going to be too much. So can you see how there is this internal aspect of like the energy of lack and scarcity versus the lack of plenty and overflow internally kind of coming into play? And it's been really fascinating for me just over the last few days to gain the clarity around this, to do the healing work around this, and to show up differently over this last week. And I'm really excited to continue exploring what that looks like and the freedom and liberation and growth in my divine expression and in the inspiration and creativity that wants to flow through me so that I can be of greater support and service to you and to the others in my community. So I was really called and inspired to share this aspect of my journey with you and to also offer you this perspective through my experience, and how sometimes we are meant to navigate those uncomfortable edges and those spaces of resistance or stress and challenge when we are in a discomfort, when we're in a growing pain or a growing state. We've reached the edge, and to move through it, we've got to be willing to go deeper and to look at what's there, and to look at those stories, and to look at those limiting patterns, and to look at those limiting beliefs, and be willing to not only acknowledge, recognize, and validate them, but to do the healing around them, and also to take new action, so that new action supports your greater intention. And that does feel uncomfortable in the moments, but the liberation and the ease that occurs afterwards is so much ease and lightness and excitement that can pour through, and greater amounts of love, greater amounts of joy, greater amounts of ease, and this state of plenty, overflow, and abundance, and allowing all of that to then feel safe, known, and trusting on the other side of it. I pray and intend that this message empowers and inspires you wherever you are on your journey today to get curious, witness your limitations, and be willing to shift, elevate, and grow through them, to welcome in the energy of overflow and plenty and all of your divine essence and bigness that wants to be moved, radiated, and shined through you. I'm sending big, big love and blessings your way, and I'm looking forward to our next divine encounter. Namaste.